Good morning. Menexenus. 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 Day 6. Some of us have fathers and mothers still living, and we would urge them, if, as is likely, we shall die, to bear the calamity as lightly as possible, and not to condole with one another. For they have sorrows enough, and will not need any one to stir them up. While we gently heal their wounds, let us remind them that the gods have heard the chief part of their prayers. For they prayed not that their children might live forever, but that they might be brave and renowned. And this, which is the greatest good, they have attained. A mortal man cannot expect to have anything in his own life turning out according to his will, and they, if they bear their misfortunes bravely, will be truly deemed brave fathers of the brave. A mortal man cannot expect to have everything in his own life turning out according to his will. But if they give way to their sorrows, either they will be suspected of not being our parents, or we of not being such as our Menexenus declared. Let not either of the two alternatives happen, but rather let them be our chief and true panegyrists, who show in their lives that they are true men and had men for their sons. Of old the saying, nothing too much, appeared to me to be, and really was, well said. For he whose happiness rests with himself, if possible, wholly, and if not, as far as possible, who is not hanging in suspense on other men, or changing with the vicissitude of their fortune, has his life ordered for the best. Is that really the best? It is quite a lonely existence, a very successful existence, I know from experience, to have your happiness depend solely upon yourself. But it is very lonely, and I'm not quite sure that it is the most moral existence to have your happiness depend solely on yourself. If the torments of your friends don't tear you apart, are you really a friend? If the one you love, if his absence doesn't break your heart, do you really love? And do you really want a life without love? He is the temperate and valiant and wise, and when his riches come and go, when his children are given and taken away, he will remember the proverb, neither rejoicing over much nor grieving over much, for he relies upon himself, and such we would have our parents to be. That is our word and wish, and as such we now offer ourselves, neither lamenting over much nor fearing over much, if we are to die at this time. To me this sounds cowardice, like cowardice. And we entreat our fathers and mothers to retain these feelings throughout their future life, and to be assured that they will not please us by sorrowing and lamenting over us, But if the dead have any knowledge of the living, they will displease us most by making themselves miserable, and by taking these misfortunes too much to heart. And they will please us best if they bear their loss lightly and temperately. For our life will have the noblest end which is vouchsafed to man, and should be glorified rather than lamented. I'm thinking of a play, Our Town or something. It ends with the dead thinking about the ways of the living. I should read that again. And if they will direct their minds to the care and nurture of our wives and children, they will soonest forget their misfortunes and live in a better and nobler way, and be dearer to us. That much I can subscribe to. Loving the ones you're with. This is all that we have to say to our families and to the state. We would say, take care of our parents and of our sons. Let her worthily cherish the old age of our parents, and bring up our sons in the right way. But we know that she will of her own accord take care of them, and does not need any exhortation of ours. Yeah, we know that the state will take care of our sons. This, O ye children and parents of the dead, is the message which they bid us deliver to you, and which I do deliver with the utmost seriousness. And in their name I beseech you, the children, to imitate your fathers, and you, parents, to be of good cheer about yourselves. For we will nourish your age, and take care of you both publicly and privately in any place in which any of us may meet one of you who are the parents of the dead. And the care of you which the city shows, you know yourselves. For she has made provisions by law concerning the parents and children of those who die at war. The highest authority is specially entrusted with the duty of watching over them above all other citizens, and they will see that their fathers and mothers have no wrong done to them. The city herself shares in the education of the children, desiring as far as it is possible that their orphanhood may not be felt by them. While they are children, she is a parent to them, and when they have arrived at man's estate, she sends them to their several duties, in full armour clad, and bringing freshly to their minds the ways of their fathers. She places in their hands the instruments of their fathers' virtues. I'm thinking of funeral sermons. I've had to do those. It's never easy. You want to comfort the people as much as possible. Envelop them in words. Hug them with your words. Take care of them with your words and promising. This could actually be quite consoling. They will be taken care of. That's nice to hear, at least. If it's true, I don't know, but it's nice to hear. For the sake of the omen, she would have them from the first begin to rule over their own houses, arrayed in the strength and arms of their fathers. And as for the dead, she never ceases honoring them, celebrating in common for all, rites which become the property of each. And in addition to this, holding gymnastics and equestrian horse contests, and musical festivals of every sort. She is the dead in the place of a son and heir. She is to the dead in the place of a son and heir, and to their sons in the place of a father, and to their parents and elder kindred in the place of the guardian, ever and always caring for them. Consider this, you ought to bear your calamity the more gently, for thus you will be most endeared to the dead and to the living, and your sorrows will heal and be healed. There is something very healing in a community rising up to console those who have suffered a loss of a loved one by taking up their place in some way. Loving on behalf of the one who is dead. Taken care of on behalf of who is dead. I see this as also in close-knit Christian communities, or any religious community for that matter, who is true to the calling to be a community. If we're all sons and brothers and sisters and daughters and mothers and fathers, this could actually be done. Considering this, you ought to bear your calamity the more gently, for thus you will be most endeared to the dead and to the living, and your sorrows will heal and be healed. And now do you and all, having lamented the dead in common, according to the law, go your ways. Of course, I'm not suggesting that anyone can take the place of anyone else. But having a community to sustain you through difficult times goes a long way. You have heard Menexenus, the oration of Aspasia, the Milesian. Oh, a Milesian. Quite a history of philosophers from there. Menexenus. Menexenus sounds better, but the mark is on the second E. Truly, Socrates, I marvel that Aspasia, who is only a woman, should be able to compose such a speech. She must be a rare one. There are many of us, rare women. So many that you would think we are not the exception. Well, if you are incredulous, you may come with me and hear her. I have often met Aspasia, Socrates, and know what she is like. Well, and do you not admire her? And are you not grateful for her speech? Yes, Socrates, I am very grateful to her, or to him who told you, and still more to you who have told me. Very good, but you must take care not to tell of me, and then at some future time I will repeat to you many other excellent political speeches of hers. Fear not. Only let me hear them, and I will keep the secret. Then I will keep my promise. Reminds me of Jesus telling everyone that they're not supposed to tell people that he's the Messiah. Don't tell people that I can actually speak. Then I will keep my promise. Do you not admire her, and are you not grateful for her speech? That is the end. Take care.